Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate that you took the time out of your day to come to our first webinar, June and I working together, our first webinar together. My name is Jennifer Zorrilla. This is June Hale. We work together online, teaching individuals and business owners how to move their businesses forward. Many times they find themselves stuck, spinning, and stalled, but we together help them figure out different strategies that will work on actually excelling their business. So I'm going to start right now by turning off our cameras, and we're going to go ahead and share our screens and get started with this webinar. I don't want to keep you guys too long, and again, I appreciate so much that you came to be here. Bear with me as I bring up the slides. And before I actually just did this and I ended up muting myself, so I won't mute myself today. Okay, again, my name is Jennifer Zorrilla. I started out in computers back in high school, really loved them. I started in computers really when I was 12, but it wasn't until I ended up graduating high school and going into corporate America as an IT director. I was making excellent money. Due to family problems, I went through a divorce. I ended up leaving corporate life in 2005. I had to find a way to stay at home with my babies because I was actually pregnant with my fourth child when my ex decided to leave. And my oldest daughter was really having problems about separation, and when I would drop her off to school, she was afraid I wasn't coming back. So I ended up leaving corporate America, and I had to find a way to make it work. Like, I was just out there to really find a way. It was going to have to work, and I had to stay afloat. I owned a home and had 4 kids. So I started in 2005. It was my first dance with network marketing, and I ended up joining a company and basically built my complete downline using the phone. I picked up the phone early in the morning, and late at night was like my last phone call. So due to time zones and everything like that, I was able to put a lot of hours into it, and I was able to work around my children. Sometimes they were yelling in the background, but that was okay. It was basically bringing on lots of other mothers that could do it too. And within 7 months, I was able to build a nice income. I was making about $8,000 a month. And due to some bad business moves, I ended up dropping from one business and jumping into another, and I didn't realize within 3 hours my income was gone. The company was able to remove me from their company when they had heard that I had joined another. So definitely be careful of that. But then I just got so burnt out. The new company didn't work out for me. I tried really hard, and it's just, I was really burnt out by that point. So it ended up, I started to find other ways to make money online. I went from being a writer. I wrote for Hale for many years, created an awesome residual income, and then one day they decided to pay us for our articles, and they no longer wanted to give us royalties to them. So I lost my residual income there, but I continued to work endless hours as a writer, and created a nice income, was able to take care of my family. I did other streams of online income. Anything online, I did it because I just was out to make my family, float. I was able to support everybody. In 2014, I rejoined the industry. I had gotten remarried, and I actually had been living out of the country before that. Prior to that, for 4 years, I lived in the Dominican Republic and was able to, keep us afloat and have an awesome lifestyle over in the Dominican Republic while working online. And then in 2014, we came back to America, and I heard all about a certain product, and I was like, cha-ching, cha-ching, I heard dollar signs, so I rejoined the industry. And within my first 3 weeks, I did amazing things, had built a nice little organization underneath me, and really opened the eyes to my upline. They were like, what is she doing? In 2015, I started coaching people, people in my company that were wanting to get to the rank that I had achieved. I began coaching them and teaching them what I had learned and what I was doing to get to where I was. So my goal is really to help the most people get what they want. And I know that's something that we hear a lot. It's Jim Rohn had said it, had told us to, has taught us to do the same. And it really has become that with me. I really am to that point where I just want to help as many people as I can achieve the life that they deserve. So like I said, I've been working online since 2005. So I would love for more people to be able to work full-time online, and that's why I do what I do. So next I'd like to introduce June Hale. June is here, and June, welcome. If you could go ahead and tell a little bit about yourself, that would be wonderful.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. I want to thank everyone for joining us. My name is June Hale, and let me tell you a little bit about myself. Most of my career, I've had a traditional job and a traditional business. I was a licensed optician for over 25 years. I worked both in the corporate world and for small private practices. I enjoyed interacting with people and enjoyed what I did, but after doing the same thing for so long, I needed a change. Then I was hired by a large mail order company to run their shipping department and manage the department employees. Obviously, I had to learn some new skills. After a couple of years, I realized I was living and breathing this job. I was treating it as if it were my own business, and it wasn't even mine. All of my hard work and contributions were not appreciated. Sound familiar? So my journey continued, and I started my own business. The biggest thing I took away from that last job was confidence. I had the confidence that I could do anything that I put my mind to. My new business was a gift shop, and I was in business for 12 years. This business completely took over my life, working 7 days a week without having a vacation for 12 years. Although I enjoyed my store, I was tired and burned out. Knowing there must be more to life, I had to make a change. I closed the shop. I knew there must be a better way. So here I am, taking on a new challenge, learning so much and passing on that knowledge. Through all of my career changes, there have been two constants. Number one, my people skills. This can get you through anything. And number two, my mindset is such that I have confidence that I will succeed in anything that I do. So let's talk about mindset. We wanted to start out this webinar talking about mindset because this is the most important. Without positive mindset and discipline, you can become more easily derailed from your goal, which is success in business. Since you are in this webinar, I assume that you want success in your business, right? Put a number 1 in the chat box if you want success. Oh, I see a lot of ones. I see some people excited about success. That's great.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, look at the ones. We have put together some of our most effective success strategies for you, and we'll reveal them to you in the next hour. Some will be familiar to you, but there are many details that can take you to the next level in your marketing business. I am confident you will receive some valuable tools and tips in the next hour. It will be worth your time. There are two kinds of mindset, limited and open. The limited mindset is where the voice in your head is focused on judgment of yourself and others. You don't think things will ever change. The voice you hear in your head may say, people will laugh at you. Are you sure you can do it? What if you fail? You'll be a failure. You can't do it. Don't even try. Yes, there are so many of these negative examples. We could go on forever. These people are afraid of risk and are full of doubt. Their mind is just trying to protect them because it craves the familiar. It wants to feel safe. And then we have the open mindset, where our thoughts are assessing more of what's going on and how we can learn from a situation and make it better. The voice in your head is saying, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? If I don't try, I certainly will fail. So why not give it a try? I'm smart. I can do this. I have a lot to offer. Do these thoughts sound familiar? If so, great. If not, no worries. Let's make a change. I know that you can easily succeed if you have the right mindset, an open mindset. If you don't have control of your mind, even if you have all of the tools, most likely you will have limited success in your business. For instance, you can have the tools to create a fire, a stack of firewood, kindling, and paper, all stacked up and ready to go, ready to become a warm and cozy fire. But without the spark to set the wood on fire, it's just a pile of wood, right? So in this case, we need a match. This is the catalyst for your fire. Make sense? If you equate this to your business, you can have all of the tools of a successful business, but without a proper mindset, which is our catalyst, you won't create success in your business. Some of our online marketing tools are Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, to name just a few. So what will be the motivator to make these tools into a successful business? Your mindset. It can simply make or break you. If we let our limited mindset run wild, we will remain unchanged, staying exactly where we are. So in order to change our negative pattern, we need to make a conscious shift in our thinking, or in other words, our paradigm. We need to break these old patterns and habits. Most people's paradigms are a multitude of habits that are just passed down from one generation to the next. They are not even our own. For example, my mindset about money was ingrained in me before I even had a chance to think for myself. Every Christmas, I was constantly reminded, don't expect too much since we don't have much money this year. Another example is every year at the beginning of the new school year, I was told we could not afford new shoes. I was so embarrassed, so I tried to clean and polish up my old shoes because I knew everyone else was going to have new shoes for school. I was raised with a constant lack mentality. Some of our thoughts about money that I have heard over and over are, money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think? I'm made of money? We can't afford that. Sound familiar? Excuse me. Let me get a sip of water here. Just one sec. Thank you so much.
No problem. Take your time.
Thank you. But the list goes on and on. and our subconscious mind holds tight to these beliefs. If we let these outside influences dictate what happens on the inside, nothing will change. Put a 1 in a chat box if any of these statements sound familiar to you. All right, look at the ones.
Wow, yeah, I think we all come from the same mindset, or a lot of us.
Yes, absolutely. This is exactly why we must change our mindset. Otherwise, our lives will continue like a bad rerun with no hope of escape. In order to change your old patterns, you need to change your thoughts. Just like our computers, build a new program that makes the old program obsolete. And then we just need to install that new program in our minds. And we do, and if we do, we start moving in the right direction. The most effective way, but by no means is this easy, is to just replace the old, unwanted, unproductive thoughts with new, highly charged, positive ones. Feel as though you have already accomplished the things that you desire. I know this seems backwards, but everyone I know thinks this way is very successful. Here are some tools that I use to train my brain. I work on my mind the first thing every morning. It might seem like a lot of work, but after a while, it becomes part of you. Number 1 is meditation. It's a great way to start the day. This should take only 5 to 10 minutes. It's just about getting still and having silence in your mind, nothing else. There are several ways to meditate, but I stick to the easiest for me. The first way is the breathing meditation, where you focus on the sensations of breathing. Focus on your breathing. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Feel the sensation in your body of the air entering your nose and exiting through your mouth. Breathing in peace and calmness, and exhaling all your tensions and worries. The second form I use is body scan meditation. I learned this technique from Dr. Joe Dispenza. You focus on each part of your body one at a time. This creates a better focus with less wandering thoughts. This will allow more positive thoughts and create a calming sense of now. Meditation is so important because this allows us time to let inspiration come to us without outside thoughts crowding in. Choose whatever method feels right for you and realize this will take some practice, but it is so worth it. Next is gratitude and appreciation. Speak these things out loud and take time to write them down as well. Be grateful for everything. When you are in a state of gratitude, you just can't be negative. It puts your thought process on the right track for the day. List at least 10 things each day that you are grateful for. The things you have, people you know, family and friends, your health, paying your bills, a beautiful day, your pets, the love of your life. You get the idea. And finally, your daily plan of action. Quickly review your short and long-term goals to see if you are still on track. Then prioritize your goals for the day and take action. I put my daily goals into 3 categories: what must get done, what should get done, what could get done. Work on them in this order to optimize your success. Success brings pride, pride brings conviction, and conviction brings action. Do things that make yourself proud. Your morning routine can set you up for massive success each day. If you can change your thoughts consistently and keep them in check, you can change your life. Now, let's get started on using the physical social media tools to build your successful online business. I'm going to have Jennifer take it from here.
That was really awesome, June. I don't think a lot of people realize how important mindset is when it comes to running your own business and being successful, really. You know, a lot of times when people come to us, we've found that their mindset needed a little bit of work. You know, it's something that we kind of take for granted. We think, oh, that's how I was raised, or oh, you know, and I think we all are programmed in a certain way, but we can definitely constantly be working on our mindset. And I'm going to get into social media and how we do our business online. You know, there's so many strategies of doing it online, and a lot of people come and they're throwing their links everywhere, and they're, you know, constantly putting up their products in everyone's face, and they're just kind of, it's like throwing spaghetti against a wall and seeing what sticks, and what doesn't stick, oh, so what? But there's a better way. There's a better way, and we like to teach about attraction marketing. So basically, that's when you have people actually coming to you and saying to you, hey, what are you doing? Or hey, you know, I want to be a part of whatever you're doing. You actually attract people to you instead of you having to go after your friends and family, excuse me, or even, you know, your cold market. You want to be hunted. You don't want to be the hunter anymore. You know, I mean, I'm sure that's how you all feel out there. Yeah, I see the comments going along the side. Yeah, I totally agree. You know, somebody said they were a part of the NFL club. For those that don't know and they're seeing in the chat, the NFL club says, you know, no friends left. Well, we don't want you to be in that club any longer. We want you to have lots of friends. We want you to build lots of relationships. I mean, that's what we are in, right? We're in a relationship marketing type of business, and that's so important. But you want to attract the right people to you. So yeah, I'm trying to change the thing. Sorry about that, guys. So attraction marketing, there's so many pros of going this route when you want to do your marketing. Okay, this is when the pros of it. They want to come to you. You know, they're coming directly to you. Can you imagine that? If people are coming to you, chances are you're going to have no rejection, right? They want to know what you're doing. You're not going out to them and saying, hey, do you want, you know, actually how they always say, right, when you go and you ask, the waitress asks you, do you want some more coffee? You don't have to say that anymore. You don't have to ask people if they want any coffee. It's no rejection. They're not going to tell you, no, they don't want any coffee now. But honestly, the flow, once it starts, it really starts going, and it just flows and flows to you. The cons of it, unfortunately, you're not an overnight success when it comes to attraction marketing. It takes time to build it up. Now, here's the thing. I don't really believe in overnight success in anything. I think that a lot of people consider themselves overnight success, and then you hear about how long it really took them. Oh, I've been in the industry 22 years, and, you know, one day I woke up and I was an overnight success. No, they were building it 22 years. Listen to the keywords in there when people talk, because sometimes people say things and you're just like, really? The other con about attraction marketing is there's no immediate gratification, okay? So you're not going to go and start this business and say, I'm going to market through attraction marketing, and the next day you're like top of your company. It's not going to happen. It's no immediate gratification. So sometimes people go, is it really working? I'm going to tell you, it really does work. So it's a lot of busy work in the beginning. You know, sometimes you just like, you feel like you're constantly working and working and working and working, and you're not really seeing the results. Don't give up. That's where people fail. They quit right before the results come. Right before they become that overnight success, they quit. So don't be that person. There's methods of attraction marketing. So the biggest thing is you need to offer so much value to your target audience. You need to constantly be offering all the value you can to your target market. Okay? those people that you want in your business, give them value and over deliver. When you do that, you become that authority in any niche, but you become that authority in that niche. And people are like, ooh, I want to follow her or him. The platforms that you can use to build your audience, well, when it comes to attraction marketing, you can use any of them. Any social media platform works. You just have to work it. So everybody should have a blog. Everybody should be everywhere, right? But you definitely want to have a blog. You want to have your Facebook. Now, when we say Facebook, Facebook is so mega huge that people don't realize. It's more than just your profile. You have a fan page. You have your Facebook Lives. You have your events. And you have your groups. So it's important when you go on Facebook that you hit them all and that you hit them hard. Twitter, huge. Lots of leads there. LinkedIn, awesome quality leads. Google Plus, let's admit it, Google is the top search engine, right? Google loves Google, guys. There's no secret about that. So email marketing, a lot of people say, but I don't like getting emails. Guess what, guys? You might not like getting emails, but email marketing works. It is amazing to stay in your tribe's face. Pinterest, webinars, you're here, guys. Attraction marketing works. So how do you know what to post? Well, here's the thing. It's a very simple formula. First, you're going to invest in your education. You're going to do that by going to trainings. You're going to be buying books. You're going to be listening to audiobooks. You're going to, whatever you can, show up to events. Any way that you can invest in your education or your mind or your mind, it's just huge for your future. You're going to learn that information, and then when you learn that information by taking notes and letting it set in and everything like that, you're going to turn around and teach it. So I know you're all saying, how can you teach something somebody else has taught, right? You're afraid that you go out and buy a $300 course, you learn the information, and then you turn around and teach it, you might get in trouble, or people might. That's not true, guys. This is the internet. You need to turn around and teach it, because the way you teach it is going to be totally different than the way, the top leader taught it. And people are attracted to you. Only certain people are going to be attracted to you, and those people probably won't be attracted to the other leader, or vice versa. I've heard the same thing being taught by several leaders, and I get more nuggets from certain people that I'm attracted to than those that I'm not. Sometimes I just have to turn it off because I just don't care for the way they're presenting it. We offer so much when we give any kind of information. We have our own way of delivering that message. So get out there and ILT. This is how you're growing your attraction marketing audience, guys. This is something you cannot overlook. Start doing it. Write that down in your notes. ILT. Invest, learn, and teach. So you're probably wondering, how can you be everywhere? I just went over and I told you all those platforms that you should be. Well, Gary Vee tells us to be everywhere at one time. Now, I'm telling you, you don't have to, start doing this all at once. But if you are someone that already has, a place on every platform, but you're not really using it, I'm going to go through with different ways that you can recycle your content so that you can be everywhere at one time. So you're going to create a video, then you're going to create your blog post. Once that's created, you're going to create a graphic to go with it. You can do this with apps. Apps are going to be your best friend. When it comes to affiliate marketing or network marketing, in the way of attraction marketing, apps are going to be your best friend. So once you've done that, you are ready to post. And you're going to post that blog everywhere. Now here's the thing. The guy with the most content wins. Okay, so honestly, the more content you can get out there, the more you are going to start winning in your business. So you're going to post that blog post that you created to your blog. You're going to post your video to YouTube, and then you're going to include that video into your blog post. You're going to email your list and tell them all about your blog post. Then you're going to create a Facebook status and tell them all about your new post on your profile. You're going to use that video. I know. It sounds overwhelming. You sound like, I sound like it's something that you can't handle. It's too much work. I hope you're really not sitting there thinking that, because if you are, then it goes back to what June was talking about, mindset. So don't think of it as being overwhelmed. Actually, think about it as you are actually going to take care of this, and you're going to conquer it one bite at a time. One of the ways to keep your mindset correct is, remember, if other people can do it, you can do it too. I don't care if you're not technical. There are step-by-step programs out there that will walk you through it. I have a lot of training. June has a lot of training that will help you get what you need to do. So you're going to create that Facebook status, and you're going to tell them all about that new post. Yay! Now you're going to use that video. You're going to do the same thing, but now you're going to use that graphic. Schedule a post to go out later without the video, but now you're going to use that graphic again. Okay? So you're going to use that same graphic on Instagram. You're going to use it on your blog post, on your tweet of your blog post. You're going to use it to Pinterest. See, you're recycling stuff, and even though it looks like a huge list of things to do, this right here, once your blog post and your graphic is created, it should take you about 10 minutes to do. It's not long. And there's apps that you can set it, and once you put it in there, you can do it several times. You can recycle that information so people are constantly being driven to your blog. And that is what our goal is, right? We want to give them so much value, and we want to attract people by our value. And so that's what all this is doing. Now you want to post it to Google+, because remember, Google loves Google. It's going to give us backlinks. That's awesome. So if you want to post pointing back to that same blog post through uploading the video directly to Facebook, using YouTube link as well as Facebook Live and the graphic you created, okay? So you see that you have one post that you went and created. That might be the most time-consuming thing, but you're using all these other avenues to promote that same blog post, okay? So YouTube video is very different than Facebook video, and it's important to have them both. So that video that you created, you're going to upload to YouTube, remember? And you also can upload it directly to Facebook. Okay, so there's two different video. You're using that one video, but there's two different places you need to put it. And if you want to get really fancy, you can do it to Vimeo. But seriously, and then you create a live, because you already know the information. It's very easy, once you know that information, to get up there and talk about it. Now you're going to do the same thing on Twitter. You're going to point to your Facebook post, you're going to point to your Facebook Live, and then you're going to point to your YouTube thing. Again, if you have it all written out to you properly, this is not going to be so tough. Okay, so make sure that you're taking good notes, and that you are, make sure that you have the right mindset. We don't want you to get overwhelmed. Be proactive and find ways to get it done. And just think, somebody's done it before. If they've done it, you can do it. I know you can do it. I believe in you. I know if you were not interested in your business, you would not be watching this webinar. The more times you can do this, the faster your attraction marketing will build. So some people, they may work another job or whatever else. They can only commit doing this once a week, because maybe it takes them the full week to, schedule all this stuff out in between of taking care of their family and working and whatever else. But if you can do it 3 times a week, you're better off than somebody that can only do it once a week. Not saying that you won't get where you need to go in that once a week, just saying that you'll get there faster if you can do it 3 to 5 times a week. So it depends on how fast you are, or how much time you are putting in to your content marketing. The more content out there, the better. You're going to be an overnight success a lot sooner. Imagine that. So I'm often asked, and I wanted to include this, when should you post? Do you know that in Facebook, you should be posting at least 3 times a day, but no more than 3 times a day, because you will start to, if you post too close together, your posts will actually compete with one another because of Facebook's algorithms. So 3 times a day is awesome. Twitter, 1 to 2 times an hour, and you can actually do 3 to 4 times an hour, but at least 1 to 2 times an hour on Twitter. And I know you're thinking, oh my goodness, how can I post to Twitter so often? Like that would be a full-time job. There's apps to do this, guys. There's ways to schedule it. And there's one called Tweet Jukebox. Everybody should be using Tweet Jukebox if you are serious about Twitter. So basically, Tweet Jukebox, you can set up a jukebox full of your content, and your content will be put out there daily. Can you imagine? You write that post today, and you can have it sent out to tons of people for the next 365 days. So LinkedIn, you should be doing daily, one time daily. Facebook Lives, consistent times. So I actually just went through a training where Kate McShay said you can do it 3 times a day, Monday, morning, noon, and night if you wanted to. You don't have to. Just be consistent when it comes to Facebook Lives. I find that the most people that are most successful with Facebook Lives are people that have a certain time that they broadcast every week. Of course, the more that you can do it, the better. I have a special friends that have their show. They do it every day at 6 o'clock in the evening. 6 o'clock, I know that they are coming to put their show on. I also know, there's somebody that posts every day at lunchtime, noon. I watch a certain training at 1 o'clock in the afternoon every day, Monday through Friday. So you can do it Monday through Friday. You can do it, Friday through Saturday, whatever, Friday through Thursday, whatever it is. Really, the more consistent you are, the bigger your audience is going to be because they know when to expect you. The bigger your audience will be live. So here's the thing, they can watch it on the replay if they don't catch it. That's fine. But you would be surprised on how many people, if you do the same time every day, Monday through Friday, for 1 month, how many people will be showing up to your live to watch you live if you are consistent with the time. Seriously, they want to know what you have to say. People are interested. So did you know that it's better to have a Facebook group of 50 active participants than a group of 5,000 that only 5 are active? That is with Facebook algorithms, guys. You really should know Facebook algorithms if you are building your business on Facebook. Of course, there's other platforms that you could be using, but if you are using Facebook, make sure you get to know the algorithms. The other thing is on Facebook, posting links to take people off of Facebook actually hurts Facebook. Facebook is like a jealous platform. They're like, you know what? We bring all these people here, everybody's connected to our Facebook. We check Facebook they check Facebook daily, and then you are giving them links and sending them off of Facebook. I thought about it probably about a year ago. I was like, you know what? I don't think I've been off Facebook for several years. Like at that time, I honestly jumped on, read my Facebook, and stayed on Facebook completely. I stopped using Google. I stopped doing anything outside of Facebook, and so many people are like that. If it wasn't for my business and me constantly trying to research and being sent to different links and all that kind of stuff, I'd still be on Facebook and probably not go anywhere. Facebook's really where it's at. But you can post links underneath. You can post them in the comments, and that's not going to hurt your algorithms because Facebook looks at it as that was somebody that commented, and it actually helps boost that post because you have a comment. So the more interaction, the better for the algorithm. Again, I'll save the algorithm for another training, but this is amazing. Make sure that you know all about the algorithms. So what would happen if Facebook disappeared in 6 months? Think about that. I can't tell you. The other day, we couldn't get to other sites and it was no big deal. But if Facebook went down, I think we'd all be panicking. It's happened before. I remember living in the Dominican Republic at the time, and Facebook went down for like 6 hours. I thought I was being banned. I thought I was the only one away from Facebook. I was so worried about losing my Facebook. So Facebook is an awesome place to start or focus on, your one area, but you need to be building an email list. You need to make sure that you are speaking to your audience daily. You can't rely on Facebook. Facebook is owned by Facebook. They can ban you and take away your account anytime they want to. The email list, you own that email list. Nobody's going to email that list but you. Whatever autoresponder you decide to use, Aweber or anything else, you really need to make sure that you are building your list, because it's where the gold is. It's where it's so lucrative. You can use it for so many different reasons. If you want several different forms of income, or if you are fine with just having the one source of income, either way, you really need to have an email list. You really do. Some people feel like nobody opens that email, but that's really not true. It's kind of funny. I had this conversation with one of my people last week. She had gotten an email from me, and she clicked on it. And then she went in to see about a program that I use that I was telling my list about. And then she came back to me and messaged me on Facebook, and she said, hey, Jen, I went to your link that you had sent in your email. And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, they talked a lot about email list building. And I said, yeah, I really believe in it. I'm a strong proponent of it. I'm building my list, and that's where the money is, and that's where, building your business is through attraction marketing. You're right there in your audience face. And she said, yeah, I could never do that because nobody reads emails. I don't ever read emails. I actually delete them. Okay, did you hear that story? She said she deletes her emails. She never reads them. Yet somehow she read the one that I sent her. Okay, so my point of the story is that people do read their emails. You pick and choose what you're going to read, and you might not read every single one from somebody. I could send you an email every day, and you might read one a week. Maybe you read it once a month. Something's going to grab your attention, and you're going to open it. But that's okay. If you have 10,000 people on your email list and 10% of your people read your emails a day, that's 100 people. That's going to be 100 people deciding whether or not they're going to choose, to take the information that you're sending them. So again, I will save my email list building for another webinar, but definitely make sure that you are building an email list and create the tribe that is looking forward to opening your emails. That is by offering them so much value that when your email comes across their mailbox, they're going to click on it because they want to know what you have to say. So there's so many platforms and so much information to know. Don't get caught up on this. Remember, it's all in our mindset how we deal with this. You're sitting there with all this information and you're saying, oh my goodness, she's throwing all this information. No, I'm telling you about this information just so that you know just how important marketing yourself online is. It's all about attraction marketing. It's about bringing people into you, attracting the right people to you. It's about so much more than the platforms I just mentioned. And, if you are feeling overwhelmed, trust me, I get it. Most of the people that June and I work with, again, have issues with mindset, and we need to work on it before we work on the other stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am working on my mindset every single day. There can never be a time where, I'm done working on my mindset. So if you can look at all this information and know that it will be okay, you can take this step by step, and you're ready to do it, and you're like, wow, I can do this, then you have an awesome mindset. That's awesome. That's the way we need to look at this stuff. People who are overwhelmed and worried by this, this is your indication, guys. This should be your indication that your mindset needs to be fixed. Your mindset is going to control whether your business is going to succeed or not. People who work on their mindset are going to look at this and they're going to automatically tell themselves, it's okay if other people are doing this, I will find that way. Let's go step by step. How do they say, how do you eat an elephant? Bite by bite. That's how you have to take anything that goes with working online, especially if you're like, wow, that's so much information. You're going to be able to take it step by step and eventually get to a place. You might not go as fast as others, and that's okay. It's not a race. We all have one place we want to get to, right? And that's reaching our goals. It's going to take some time growing, but don't worry. There's lots of training out there, and there's lots of ways to go. Think about this. Where are you on this online business journey? Do you have a brand that is already created? Is everything matching? Does your Facebook fan page match your profile page? Does your Facebook group, your Facebook events, your blog, your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn, your Google+, your Instagram, do all your social media accounts match? They need to match. You are building your brand. When I say Nike, what do you picture? Yep, the check mark. Exactly. Yep, everybody's saying the same thing. Absolutely. I mean, that is, it's so true, guys. Think about it. Think about people's brands. You know, if I were to say Campbell Soup, something's going to jump in your mind, right? Yeah. So, or how about the Gerber baby? Everybody see that cute little chubby baby in their mind? And probably even the lettering on the jar. So really, guys, think about your brand. You really need to create a brand that you have everybody wanting to, you know more about you. That's where they're going to come to you. So it's about building that brand. So June and I would love to help you build your brand. Reach out to us. We are all over online, and I'm gonna actually post it up here in the slides in a moment, and you can see where to reach us. But meanwhile, I just wanted to ask, did anybody get any value from today's webinar? Do you have any kind of questions? Is there anything I can help you with?
Jennifer, it seems like there's a lot of questions here.
Okay.
In the chat box, I'm just noticing that. And but I want to just say, just wonderful information, Jennifer. I learned a lot from you today, and I'm sure everybody else had as well. Great value you gave.
Thank you, and I learned a lot from yours. I mean, mindset is huge. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for working on my mindset, and I know you feel the same. I do have some questions here. I'm going to go ahead and start answering them. So I'm being asked by Kathy, what is the most effective media tool? Well, it really depends, Kathy, on which platform you want to use. So when it comes to posting, if you wanted to schedule out posts and stuff, if you're running a Facebook group, I really like SynchShare, but there's many different tools there. If you go to my website, jenniferzorrilla.com, under resources, I have quite a few tools posted there that I use. Twitter has awesome social media tools. For instance, like I said, Tweet Jukebox is one of them. I've used so many different ones. I really like Social Quant to find followers, but definitely look into the tools as you're building, guys, because that's what's going to make your life or your business a lot easier. My next question, I hope that gave you some value. I hope that answered your question, Kathy. I have another one from Monica. I heard that Twitter is too spammy and hard to connect with people. Is that true? Okay, so Twitter is or can be very spammy. But the thing is, there's lots of people on there that are willing and wanting to interact, and it's finding those people. So checking out their profile before you're adding them. I've been on Twitter for a long, long time. I think it was 2000, I don't know, whenever they started. I think it was 2007, maybe 2008 or 9. But I really love Twitter. I love it. You can really create some awesome relationships there and learn from a lot of people. Plus, there's so many tools over in Twitter. Yes, definitely can be very spammy. If you have a lot of followers, you'll see your feed will be flying past your eyes, because that's how it is. But there's a lot of great value too, and you can connect with people directly. So just by tagging them in the post, they're going to see that post. The news feed, people read it because I'm telling you, I get a lot of interaction over on Twitter. So thank you, Monica, for that question. Any others out there? I hope that answered your question and that brought you some value. Oh, Kelly, people say that I have to do videos, but I'm afraid. How do I overcome this? That's an excellent question. Do you have any suggestions for that, June? Or
Well, that is an excellent question. Actually, it's you know, I'm still afraid doing videos. So it's one of those things you just have to practice.
Just force yourself, right?
Yeah, you do. You have to schedule it in, and you just have to do it. And I know I had to. I did videos first, and then I did my first live. And each time you do it, the better you feel, more confident you feel. So
I agree.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
I agree. Is it okay if I put you on camera?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Got to ask first. You never know. So that was a great question about the video, and I agree totally. And I think the hardest part is actually sitting in front of a camera and having to talk to people, and you don't see the people and you can't interact with them. And I think, you know, Facebook Lives and videos are really totally a different ball game. Like I think some people have problems with video and no problem with Facebook Live, and vice versa. And it's really, I think it's about the interaction. I know, maybe June can correct me, but I think that having two people on screen really helps also. Like you have somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
So if you're sitting there talking to your camera, it can get a little overwhelming sometimes. So you just have to do it. You just really have to, you know, put your mind to it and say, okay, and pretend like you're talking to your friend one-on-one. You know, that camera is your friend, and you're just having a conversation over a hot cup of tea or something, you know, and you're just having a chat. Even with your Facebook Lives, do the same thing. And you can even swipe to the side while you're doing your Facebook Live so you don't see the comments, because sometimes it's more nerve-wracking when you see people coming into your lives when you're first starting out. And then as you get more comfortable, you can just, you know,
chat with them too.
Chat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, okay, so that was the question about the videos. Thank you so much, Kelly, for that. That's awesome. June, there's a question here for you. How long will it take for me to see some benefit using meditation?
Wow. You know, I believe that it's immediate. At least it was for me. I started meditating about 5 years ago, and it takes discipline, and you have to be constant with it, and like anything else. But I've gotten so much benefit from the meditations. And when I first began, I think it did help me to use the guided meditations. And there's few out there, and that helped me, because in the beginning it's very difficult to focus. You're just kind of sitting there, and you're like, what am I supposed to be doing here? But you know, it just with the guided meditation, at least it kind of tells you what to do, tells you when to breathe, you know. So I think it helped me, at least. And then I was pretty, I did it every day. I did it every day, and I just disciplined myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I learned a lot today, actually, about the meditation. I've only done guided meditation, but what you were saying about focusing on your when you're inhaling and exhaling, I didn't realize that that was the way to do it and stuff. So I can't wait to try that. I'm going to try that tomorrow. But I do meditation daily, and I actually use a guided meditation. I don't know if hypnosis is different than meditation. I don't know.
You know, I'm not sure about that, but you are kind of, when you're meditating, you are in a way in a hypnotic state, you know.
Okay.
You just quieting your mind.
Yeah.
There is a easy meditation. It's about 5 minutes, and it's on junehale.com. So you might want to check that out.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I think that covers all the questions. Anybody else have any questions? Guys, I can't believe that you're all still here. That is such flattery in itself. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you taking your time to come here. Really, you're building yourself for the road to success by showing up to different things like this. Oh, I just lost you on my screen. That's kind of embarrassing, but I lost you guys. So I appreciate it, and I wanted to put up the slide for you guys so that you could see where to find us. But I think I'm going to post it in the chat, and for those that are watching the recording, I'm going to post it underneath the recording of how to reach June and I, and start following us, and definitely reach out to us and ask your questions. We're here to help. I know June loves to help people just as much as I do, so the more that you can, oh, I see some more questions coming in. The more that you ask us, the more that we can help, the more blessed we feel. So feel free, reach out to us and definitely ask us questions. So there's a few more questions here. Kimberly, how do you know what content to put out there? Excellent question. Excellent, excellent. So Kimberly, basically, you need to find out who your avatar audience is, and then you need to see who your competition is. What are they doing? What are they putting out? Because remember, you're putting out stuff that you're learning. So things that are interesting to you are obviously, most of the time we are our own avatar, right? We were attracted to the business. So we want people that are like us that are attracted to the business too. But so basically that's the answer, is finding the people that are in your niche that are offering content. Again, invest in it, learn it, and then turn around and teach it. So that's where you're going to find that kind of content. I have another question here from Kathy. I hope that helps. I really appreciate your questions, guys. This is great. This is awesome. So Kathy's asking, people say that I have to do videos, but I'm afraid. How do I overcome this? Okay, so we just kind of answered this earlier, and I might be, hold on, I might be answering the same question. I am. I'm looking. This is a new webinar platform for us. We usually use Webinar Jam, and this is totally new to us, so bear with me as I get used to the questions and answers here. Okay, here's another one. I want to be most effective when I post. Is there a better way to connect with people? Jim, what an excellent question. Is there a better time to connect with people? So depending on the platform you're using, if you're using Facebook, I think you really need to do trial and error to see when your friends are on, and seeing when they're getting. I get the most interaction in the middle of the day. But remember, when it comes to like Facebook and LinkedIn and Pinterest, your stuff is still going to be there. Twitter's a little bit different because Twitter, a lot of times it just flies by. So Twitter, you should be constantly being out there. But when it comes to the other platforms, your information's still out there. I get lots of replays on Facebook, so it doesn't matter when I do my live. If I want interaction, I know from 3 to 7 about there, 3 to 6, 3 to 7 is pretty much peak time for me to put out a Facebook Live on Facebook. That's when I'm going to get the most that's when I'm going to get actually the most interaction. But again, the replay is always there, so people come back and watch it. If you're already starting your tribe, people are going to come looking for your information. They want to know more about you and what you're doing, or they like your training, so they're going to come back and watch your trainings, and that's all attraction marketing. It's so neat when it starts. It's so neat when you get to that point where people are looking for you. Next question, and I hope that helps, Jim. Thank you so much. Great, great, great question. I have another question from Monica. My email list is pretty small. When do I start marketing to them? Right from the beginning. I don't care if you have one person on your list, or if you have 50 people on your list, or if you have 10,000 people on your list. Start marketing them. Start emailing them daily, and marketing to them, doesn't hurt to start putting a call to action at the end of every email. Call to actions are huge. My call to action today is that you guys follow us and reach out to us. That's my call to action today. Next question. What do you use to create your ads? Okay, when it comes to ads, to Facebook ads, I'm not really sure of the question. Do you mean what kind of graphics? If, some people use Canva, I use PicMonkey. Okay, it was the graphics. So yeah, canva.com and PicMonkey, and there's tons of apps for your phone, guys. Use your phone, use what you have. Lots of free apps on your phone that you can create graphics to. And then if you want free photography or free pictures, I really like Pexels.com, Pexels.com. Again, there's a lot of ones. There's Pixabay, I believe, and yeah, there's a lot of places that offer free graphics that you can use. So that would be the best way to go about doing it, finding different ways to do graphics. All right, so I think that's it with the questions.
They're all good questions. They're great. Oh,
sorry about that. We're live, guys. You can't, make
That's
So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you for your time. We value your time so much. We know that time is valuable, and I can't thank you enough for being here. Is there anything you wanted to possibly end with, June? Anything you wanted to add?
Just want to thank everyone, and just this is the first time for both of us being together, on a webinar. It was great, and we have to do more for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. So thank you guys again. Go ahead and click on those links in the chat and reach out to us, follow us, send us a PM. We're real people, and we just want to help. We want to help all as much as possible. So I hope you guys have a great day.
Oh, he's got a little doggy.